Alright, here we go. We got it all taped up. We are certified screw it up yourselfers.
Yes.
And figured we'd give this stuff a try. If we like it, you'll see this video. If you don't see this video, guess what? We hated it. But kitchen's taped up. We've followed the instructions. We've already sanded the surface. We watched the DVD. Patched a few spots. Watched the DVD, and now we're about to start the process. Alright, the base coat, I don't know how well you can see that, but it's like peanut butter. And that was shocking. We weren't expecting that. We don't even know if that's...
Not what it showed in the video.
Yeah, it's not what it showed in the video. First coat on. This is just the base. Even though it was thick, it went on very well. It actually, I mean, it was a little work to roll it, but it did a decent job going on, you know, and now you wait 30 minutes and it tells you to come back, and if there's any spaces that need to be refilled, do those, but roll the edges, all the edges again in 30 minutes. And so we've got a timer set. We'll be back to do that shortly. Alright, we've got the second coat that we did, which was way more difficult. You can see how thick this stuff is. Still not 100% sure, but what we are finding out is that these instructions are entirely different from the video. And we found out that the video is absolutely worthless both in video quality and in information. So we're going to go with the written instructions, which has a different time for the coatings and everything else. So as of right now, this is as far as we've gotten. Now we've got to give it a 1 to 2 hour break before we can do the stone. We're going to run to the store and be back. Alright, so we open the stone part, the step 2. The other part is dried. This you have to stir from the bottom up is what they say, but that's just because it's thick way down there in the bottom. Right now it's about a milkshake, thick milkshake consistency, but it is doing what it's supposed to, so we're fixing to put it on. We got the first coat going on. I've been rolling and moving some of the material around. Angie's dabbing the edges because it's a little easier to get the stuff on there when you're dabbing it on the sides. But and for the stone distribution, the color stuff. So it may look like a buzzard's butthole when we're done, but right now it looks pretty good. It is now almost 8 o'clock. This is the second coat of the stone. We let the first one dry for a couple hours. So I actually went out and ran a 5K, believe it or not. But it looks awesome so far. From what we can see so far, it looks very nice. We did pull the tape off because we understand that if you leave the tape on through this drying process, that it's very difficult to get off. So we pulled the liner tape off. That's just our choice. We left the lower tape on, but the upper tape we took off. So we'll see how that works. Plan is to come back tomorrow. After church.
After church.
Right after church, we're going to get started on this sanding process. Sanding process, you're supposed to wear a mask because it makes a lot of dust, and then use a vacuum to get the dust off of it. So we've got that process to do tomorrow. We'll see how that turns out. You can see, I mean, this is the finish. It's real, I don't know if you can see the texture. It's rough. It looks really, really nice. But you're supposed to come back after all this is set for 24 hours and do a circular motion on the sand. Now, of course, they recommend a mask. You see, Angie's got the mask on. So, and I'm going to be lazy and do it with it's got to be oscillating. They want circular motion. So that's what I'll be doing with the sander. She's going to do the fine stuff on the edges, and we'll show you after this step. We're learning some lessons. One, this makes a ton of dust. So be aware if you do this in your house, that you better close every door that goes somewhere else and be prepared to get your floor messed up too. This makes a lot of dust. But it is smoothing out nicely. Now, one lesson that we also learned is you got to be really, really careful on the corners. I don't know how well you can see this, but I've actually gone in a little too much and actually made it back into the laminate here. And there's one little tiny spot over there beside the stove that I've done the same thing. Now they recommend just taking a little bit of the stone material and just dabbing on with your finger to cover these spots up. So I'll be doing that here shortly, just along this edge. But other than that, I mean, so far we're real impressed with the way it looks. The sanding, I don't know how much you can pick up the iridescence and the shiny right in these areas here, but it really brought a lot of different colors out in this thing. We're impressed so far. All right, we got a little bitty spot. I'm just going to show you what we're doing just to patch the edges on the corners. I've stirred my stuff up good from yesterday, putting a little dab on my finger. I'm just going in, I'm just going to dab it right there on that little old spot. All right, now tomorrow when we come back in when all this is cured, I'm just going to hit that lightly with sandpaper and then we're going to clear coat everything else. We'll see. Angie's wiping it down with a damp rag. We're really impressed seeing the colors in this. There's a lot of copper and gunmetal stuff that's very difficult for the camera to pick up, but it's really pretty. We're anxious to get the clear coat. This is the last step. You'll do one coat of this and then 4 hours later come back and do a second coat. So she's wiping it down with a damp rag to get prepared for that. All right, you can see the glaze or the top coat is mighty thin, and I don't know how well you can see where it's going on, but you can definitely tell where you have applied, and it tells you don't leave puddles, don't leave, you know, rows of it. So we're having to smooth it out pretty good. And just cutting in all the finer details. All right, y'all, on to the cure now. This is a second coat of the top coat. It's done. Looks really good. Turned out way smoother to the hand than I actually believed it would be. And this is a 24-hour cure. We'll show it to you all put back together. Get your opinions on it. Alright, y'all, well here it is. We got it done, got everything put back in place. Now we're just putting the switch covers and all back on, receptacle covers. So see, it's got a little texture to it, but it feels good. It's not, you know, rocky or bumpy or anything. It's got a good feel. It's got a good look. Edges and corners. Now, one thing I did, when I do this again, this tiny, you can't bullnose this because that's the laminate stuff, but I would take that tiny corner, that real razor sharp, I would radius that, just buff it just enough to get it smoothed out. And I think that would help with the transition around the corners. But I mean, you know, it didn't turn out bad. It's just, if I was going to do it again, and I will be doing it again, I think we've already decided that most likely we're going to do it in our bathroom with a different color. But I mean, we're impressed with it. Really, so far. I mean, you know, of course, we have no idea on longevity. I saw in reviews folks had it for, you know, 2 years that were still doing good and liked it. So for us, I mean, you know, that'll be the tale of the tape, is how long it lasts for us. But right now, I mean, as far as, you know, you're looking at the difference in I think this was $125 an hour labor versus just a little bit more counter material in our new house and a new countertop, and the new countertop was over $4,000. So the difference between $125 for a nice looking countertop for a little while longer, or $4,000, that's a whole lot of difference right there. But just as for what we wanted to do to get this house ready to get on the market, we're real pleased with the way this turned out. So that was the Spreadstone from Daich, I believe is how you say it, and that's our review on it. Y'all take care.